Testing. Hello, everybody. Sorry we're a little bit late here. I set this up for 8 o'clock, but YouTube decided to change it on me apparently and put it for 7:48. I have no idea why, because I put 8, but okay, whatever. Anyway, thank you for that. Sorry for the misunderstanding on that one. So I'm going to give a couple minutes for some folks. Let me get logged in here so we can get some more folks in there. It's so bizarre. Because I did not want that to go on until 8, but it just didn't listen to me. Interesting. All right, everybody. Well, we all know why we're here today. Today's the 1-year anniversary of the Las Vegas Massacre. So 1 year ago today, 58 innocent lives were tragically cut short. Hundreds of others were severely wounded, and thousands were psychologically damaged for life. A year ago today, I and many of you began a journey to uncover the truth about the worst mass shooting in America's history. Personally, I wanted to know why. Why would someone do this? At first, I was ready to believe the authorities' version of events, but as less questions were answered by them and more information was hidden by them, I felt I could no longer rely on them to evaluate the evidence honestly. A court order later, and finally we, researchers, got some evidence out of the government. Now is when the hard work begins. Now it falls to us to ensure the whole truth is exposed and all guilty parties are exposed. That is why we spend our free time watching endless hours of body cam footage and rereading the Las Vegas PD's final October 1 report. This is a thankless task. However, it is a sacred one. I only hope that it is one that I am up to. And with that, that is my opening. Let me see what we got in there. Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy? Nothing if not intense in the house. Hey, Truth Seeker, I hope you're still with us there. Sorry about the snafu on the start time. How bizarre that was. YouTube, man. Sometimes, I don't know. I don't know about YouTube sometimes. All right. So, what I was thinking we do... hey, Mark, how you doing? I'm sorry. Whenever I glance down, I see one of you guys, I have to say something. Sorry. I'm doing all right, Brian. Just, today wasn't that bad, actually. But, I do, I do think, I don't know if a lot of you saw this, but it looks like one thing that the anniversary has brought is a lot of mainstream media coverage about how the FBI hasn't released the their final report on the Las Vegas Massacre yet. So there is any silver lining to it, at least puts a little bit more pressure on them, but that doesn't mean they're going to release anything that's any different than what the Las Vegas police have already done. All right. Yeah, Mark Norris says emotional day, and it is. Definitely is. Hey, Truth Seeker. Yeah, when you think about it, just the thousands of people that were affected by this thing, and, the government and everybody is constantly said that it was a one-man show. It was all Stephen Paddock, and that's all there is to it. So, I've always found it a little unusual. And I think that was what really tipped me off that there's something that's being covered up here, was the fact that they started to close up and not share information and be combative with reporters and things like that. And like I was saying in my opening there, I think that was the point for me when I was like, you know what, we can't just leave this in the hands of the FBI and Las Vegas police and assume that it's all golden and good. We have to do our due diligence and look for ourselves. And that's what a lot of us have been spending our free time doing. And Mark said, yeah, it's about time the MSM said something about it. There really hasn't been any news coverage. You guys know that. There hasn't been hardly any news coverage at all. Of the past few months. Today was the first time I saw anything on it, and that was just simply because it was the year anniversary of it. But I'm not seeing I'm not seeing anything else coming out of the media. Yeah. There has to be a cover up of some kind. Truth Seeker saying for sure cover up. I mean, there must be. You don't react in this manner, you know, unless you're covering something up. Now the question is what? That's the big thing. And Brian says here, Matt Couch and Laura Loomer are about to release info on accomplices. That'd be interesting. Yeah, nothing if not intense says none, no news coverage. It's been a total news blackout. I mean, on YouTube and, you know, Mr. Burgundy, people like that, you know, researchers like all of us, they're pretty much, we're the only ones looking into this, which is, you know, a very sad, you know, a sad thing. You would think the government would do that since we all pay taxes and they're supposed to work for us. But, you know, that's in a normal world. And we don't live in the normal world. Debbie W here says, hope all you YouTube people we rely on keep all of your videos in a safe place off of YouTube. Oh yeah, I do. Brian, oh, Angela G, how's it going? She's in the house. Brian Eskew says there's an article on Drudge today about all the YouTube channels that CL brought up. Oh, lovely. So, yeah, I really want to look into getting, I really want to get my own website where I could post my own stuff. I need to get off my ass and actually do that. I've been talking about it forever, but I really just need to do it. And that way I don't have to deal with YouTube, you know, or at least worry so much like that. All right, so what I was thinking we'd do is go over, what I was going to do is do something a little different here. I was going to play, I don't know how many of you have gotten a chance to listen to my, the Witness video that I put out that was on the Michael Savage show, which was done, this particular interview was done on October 4th, 2017, so 3 days after the attack. So I thought we could just listen to it together and then you know, kind of chat during it on the live chat here and see what you guys think. A word in advance, you're going to hear some crinkling while I set things up. I don't have the best system. I'm kind of broke, so sorry. But anyway, it's about 10 minutes long. I thought we'd listen to the interview, and then I'll come back in and we'll chat about it or chat about anything else that you guys want to talk about. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get this going.
Calling from Las Vegas on KBET. She was in the crowd. She was shot at. She has something to say that you're not going to hear from Jonas Schimmel on NBC. Gail, line 7, go ahead. You have the floor.
Oh, hi there. First off, I've never been in the military, and I'm not a pro by any means on guns or anything like that. But when we were running, because we were out in the open and everything, we were running near the vendor tent, and we were just, you know, easy shots. There was a Metro police officer out there that saw us running, and he ran and he grabbed me and pulled my husband and him into the vendor tent. They're like little plastic tents. And we went down, and we could hear all the shooting, and we would hear them load and then stop shooting, or, you know, shoot and then stop shooting and load. And while we were laying there, this officer was covering me because of all the shots. And the thing that we noticed, and my husband noticed too, and I think even the Metro police officer, there were shots that were higher pitched, there were shots that were lower sounding, and they were going at the same time, and the lower shots were getting closer to us. And I'm thinking, oh my God, there's somebody walking in the crowd, spraying their gun back and forth and shooting people. And he was getting closer. The shots would stop. The officer got up and walked out, and I heard his radio because I was right there. And we heard, we have active shooters. And then my officer who was protecting me said, where is he? Where is he? Do you see him? Is he behind us? Do you have a visual? And then the shot.
So you're saying there was a shooter in the crowd going around shooting people in the crowd?
We don't know, and that's what my husband and I are trying to figure out.
But you said you heard two different types of gunfire.
And here he is, winner of the National Radio Hall of Fame Award, Michael Savage.
Guys, get down! Go that way! Get out of here! There's gunshots coming from over there! Go that way! There's gunshots right here! I can hit my head. Hey, go that way, go that way, go that way. Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down.
That's the sound of a real man. Las Vegas Police Department. You're not listening to the sound of the ACLU undermining the police. But today's topic is not about the vermin in the media, the vermin in these activist groups funded by the worst man on the planet. It is about what actually occurred. Who actually did the shooting? Was there more than one shooter? The reason we are asking this is because even an untrained ear can hear the different sounds of several different guns. We know the lunatic allegedly had 29 different guns, which makes no sense unto itself. If a man's going to go do a crazy thing like this, he would not bring weapons that have different caliber ammunition. That's something that the Knish on late night television doesn't understand. That's something that Woody Allen wouldn't understand. It's something Larry David wouldn't understand. It's something that maybe Robert Niro would understand from all the horror movies he has been involved in, all the shootings. Okay, so you had several different weapons with different calibers being shot by the same man, right? Wrong. It's impossible to believe that. An AR-15 shoots a .223. An M60 shoots a 7.62. An AK-47 also shoots a 7.62. Why would a man want to confuse ammunition in the middle of such an event? He wouldn't. Something's wrong with the picture. In addition to this, we have a caller on the line who has been gracious enough to stay over. She's Gail. She's calling from Las Vegas on my affiliate KBET. She was actually shot at. She's not a late-night crybaby comedian making believe he knows what the hell he's talking about. She was shot at. She said she heard two different types of sounds, meaning two different types of guns. But worse than that, in terms of this investigation that's being covered up, she said she believes there was a man going through the crowd, shooting at people in the crowd. Gail, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Welcome back. Thanks for staying on the line. Please tell your story all over again to a brand new audience on the Savage Nation.
Okay. Well, when we were first there, we heard the popping of the sounds, and we thought it was a firecracker, you know. And it was only like, 3 or 4 pop, pop, pops. And then it got quiet, and then a couple more pop, 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 pops, and then it just started spraying. It just nonstop bullets shooting. So everybody started running, and we just ducked. My husband and I, we just went on the ground and froze. And I remember, there's a girl that was standing right next to me that was shot in the stomach, and she had a huge bullet wound in her stomach. It was huge. It wasn't a little tiny thing, and she was bleeding profusely. It was horrible, and then people were just freaking out, and so everybody ran, and we were just still standing there, and my husband said, Joe, we gotta go, we gotta run, we're gonna get shot. So we got up and we started running toward the vendor tents. They're the white plastic tents, and there was a Metro Police officer that was out there, and he saw us running, and he said, come here, get here, and he grabbed me, and he pulled us inside the tent, and we went down, and the shots kept going and going, and then they would stop, and then we were like, okay, it's okay, it's all over, and then they would start all over again, and it seemed to me, and I'm not a pro on guns and bullets, anything, but there was like higher sounding bullets and then a really lower, deeper bullet. And as we were laying there, it sounded like the shots were getting closer to us. And I'm going, oh my God, we're going to get shot. They're going to see us in this tent. Because it seemed like somebody, I'm not saying this by any means, but to me, it sounded like somebody was actually walking from the crowd from west to east through the crowd and shooting, because everybody was going in one direction because there was no way out. And then they would stop, and then it would be like higher pitches, and then no sound. So, and then the sound would start again, but they were on top of each other, it sounded. I was freaking out, you know, obviously.
Hold on. You just said they would be on top of each other, meaning the higher sounding bullet and then the lower sounding. Well, let's say the sound of one gun higher, then lower, and they were coming at you at the same time?
Yes, they sounded at the same time, and the one that was lower kept getting closer sounding to us. And I'm thinking, your brain goes through all these images and thoughts, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it sounds like there's somebody on the ground that is shooting. And what was so bizarre about this is that Mandalay Bay was on our right. This creep was on the, 32nd floor, and the girl that was standing right beside me, maybe 7-8 inches behind me, got shot straight in her stomach, right above her belly button. Now, how does a bullet come straight down and make a left turn and hit her in the stomach? And I don't understand it. It was.
Wait, hold on. I don't understand. So the hotel is on the right, but she got shot from the left?
She got shot straight in the center. We were facing due south. Mandalay.
So you were facing away from the hotel, Gail. I want to be clear. You were facing away from the hotel.
Our right shoulder would be facing Mandalay Bay.
Okay, on the right shoulder, there's the hotel. Now your stomach is facing diagonal to that hotel, and you're saying the girl next to you is facing in the same direction as you and your husband?
Yes, we were both facing west. Direct.
Okay, so you're asking how could she get struck directly in her stomach from that direction when there was allegedly no shooter there?
Well, see, that's what's so bizarre, because I even thought that. Because how could a bullet be coming from our right, which was on our west? We're facing direct south. A bullet would have to come straight up and make a 90-degree left turn and go into her stomach.
Gail, has anyone from LA, Las Vegas Metro interviewed you?
Yeah, not from there, but I've had other interviews with like CBS, and I was mentioned at the White House by Sarah Huckabee. You know.
But did you tell the story that you just told about two different sounds of two different sounding guns?
Facing south, yes.
No. Did you tell that? Did you tell what you just told my audience to the other folks who have interviewed you? Did you say that exact thing?
No, because no one asked me that.
Oh, no one asked you that. The Knishes in the media didn't ask you that.
No.
A hot dog has a more analytical ability than most people in the media. Gail, listen to me. What you have just said on this program will make the news.
Oh.
I'm not going to divulge your name. I don't want you to be exposed to this. Frankly, if I were you, Gail, I would not give any more interviews. Listen to me very carefully, Gail.
Yes, sir.
Please do not give any more interviews. Do not divulge your name. Disappear into the night, Gail.
Well, they're finding me. I don't know how, but I haven't given any interviews except to the CBS, and they're very gracious, you know. And
well, they're very gracious. Be careful with them. They're not very gracious. They're very dangerous.
no.
Gail, I'm going to let you go because I don't want you to be on this phone any longer. I just want to thank you for surviving and for being an eyewitness to an American tragedy. Did you hear that?
All right, everybody. So that was Gail. And again, that was from an interview on the Michael Savage show that was done on October 4th, 2017. So it seemed to me, looking at the live chat there, it looked like the general consensus is she's believable. Am I correct in that? What do y'all think? Let's see here. Brian Eskew says, also makes sense that the cop who got shot would be hit in the back of the shoulder the way he was facing. You mean talking about a shooter on the closer to the stage there? And Kelly says she believes her. Mo Ketro, yes, very. Brian says, I think all the survivors are believable, plain and simple. What's up, man? And plain and simple thinks sounds credible. Nothing if not intense is credible. Discerning Light, I didn't hear all of the interview through. If you look on my channel, I actually uploaded it. It's one of my recent uploads until I went on a mass uploading thing yesterday. But just look for the Michael Savage interview, and you can hear the whole thing. Angela G, the person interviewing is Michael Savage. He's a conservative radio personality. He's pretty well known, but you won't see him on like Fox News or anything. He's actually like one of the most popular. I think he is the most popular conservative radio person out there. I think it kind of bounces between him and Rush and Hannity. Mm-hmm. And Mo Ketro says Luxor direction, thinking that's where the shooting might have been coming from. Truth Seeker says there were ground shooters. I've interviewed hundreds of survivors. They aren't all confused. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you get a whole bunch of people saying, you know, they're hearing something from one area, you know, hearing another set of shooting or whatever it may be, that brings a lot of more credibility to it. You know, that it's much harder to dismiss it when you have that many witnesses. You know, 20,000 people in attendance there. Yeah. Let's see. What's going on? All right, so generally it looks like she's a believable person. Now, hold on, I'm going to open some stuff here. Look at our favorite document here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Bingo, our favorite document. And this is pretty much what we've been looking into and ripping to shreds for the past few months. I don't know how much of you guys, how much of the new body camera footage you guys have gotten to look at lately. I've been going through it at a pretty steady clip, except for when I was on that business trip, and not seeing anything too interesting in them thus yet. Doesn't mean there's not something in there. Just nothing I've seen yet, as of yet. Nothing groundbreaking, anyway. Mark Norris says the witnesses are afraid to speak publicly. And that's very sad. True Seeker says the autopsies don't match the wounds in the video of the victims. And True Seeker says I've compiled a lot. And Mo Ketro says, but we're the crazy ones. You know, and that's the thing. You know, if people want to smear us and say that we're conspiracy theorists and all that, the thing of it, I really don't give a shit. You know, if somebody wants to call me that, I don't give a damn, because I'm following the evidence. I follow the evidence where it goes. You can't be crazy when you do that. Crazy is making an assumption that corrupt government entities are going to solve something for you and keep you safe. That's crazy. You know, us researching this and looking into it on our own. You know, there's this whole thing in this country now. I mean, I've never seen such hatred. You know, I'm in my 40s, but I've never seen such hatred of the First Amendment. I mean, by so many people. I mean, oh, don't ask questions. Don't say this. Don't say that. I mean, last time I heard it was the First Amendment. Not the second, not the third, the first. You know, freedom of speech. You know, we are free to do this. We're free to look into whatever we want. We're free to question our government. And to hell with anybody who says I'm not. That's my message. So if anybody wants to quote me as one of the loonies, that's my message to you. Go to hell. I'm an American. I can do whatever the hell I want with this evidence. I don't have to just take whatever the hell my government says and say, oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I already know too much about my own government. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and use my own brain and talk with like-minded folks like you, and we all look into this, and then we, you know, evaluate the evidence. That's what we're doing. How that can be called crazy or how that can be misconstrued into something less than what it is or more than what it is, I don't know. But, you know, that's the way it is nowadays. They twist and, you know, play with words. And, you know, if all else fails, you just pull out the fascist or sexist, racist, just any kind of ist. You know, that's when you've lost the argument. You just go ahead and resort to that. So anyway, that was just my blab. All right, I'm looking and reading what you guys are saying here. But that irritates me about the witnesses being afraid to talk. That really pisses me off. Discerning Light says, I kept thinking there were possibly sharpshooters who only shot specifically at a target once or twice to not be detected. Well, honestly, in military tactics, that was what you would do. You don't sit there and shoot from the same location. You move and you go from different areas. You never take more than one shot from any location, because they figure out where you're at and shoot back typically. True Seeker says the wounds don't all support an elevated shooter. That's interesting. I've heard that as well. And Brian Eskew says, I'd rather be called crazy than a narrative pusher. Exactly. And Nothing If Not Intense says, when I listen to her, I think talking guns more than one shooter, but working together to try to sound as one, if that makes sense. I understand. I'm sorry, True Seeker. You're a she. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, True Seeker says crazies believe in the official story. And like I said, folks that don't look into it and they don't know what we know and what we've uncovered and things like that, I don't blame them for just going along and saying, oh, well, isn't that solved? But what irritates me is when you criticize me or attack me for it, make me out like I'm some kind of lunatic for looking into it on my own. It's not like we're stealing evidence or some crap. This is publicly available. That's the only way we can get it. Actually, thankfully, from a judge who court ordered they release the videos and other evidence that they've been sitting on. I still haven't seen all the video from the casino surveillance. I don't know if any of you have, but I sure haven't seen it. Brian says the FIT report doesn't match what Schruck said on Ellen. I'm going to look into that. Let me write that down. Good catch, Brian. Fast News says, yeah, believe Professor Ford, but don't dare believe a Vegas victim. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Some people can be believed, some can't, but it always depends on a political agenda. It's supposed to be based on truth and evidence, last I heard. That's how you know when a society's really lost its way, when truth no longer matters. Mm-hmm. And Angela G says, I don't think the FIT report matches a whole lot of what happened. And Mo says, most people don't believe the narrative. They just let it go. Well, I just can't let it go. Yeah, and I agree. I feel the same way about it. I can't just sit there and let it go. It's kind of, I still remember the night it happened, because I had to go to work earlier in the morning. I had to drive to somewhere or whatever, so I had to go to sleep early. And right before I was about to go to sleep, I got a news alert that said that there had been a shooting in Las Vegas. Now, I don't know about a lot of you, but I'm a breaking news junkie, so I know a lot. Whenever there's like an active shooting, it's either usually not as bad as what they're initially reporting, or it's way worse than what they're initially reporting. That's it. There's no usual in between. And I saw that a shooter reported at a concert in Las Vegas. And I was like, okay, that's not good, And once I saw that video that we've all seen 1,000 times now, the first video I saw of it was from, I guess it's from the other tower, Mandalay Bay Tower, where they're at a party or something. They were filming down, and you can see all the people scattering and everything. Once I saw that, I knew this is going to be bad. This is going to be extremely bad. And when I woke up the next day, it was worse than, I thought it would be, that's for sure. And so, yeah, when some horrific event like that happens, you want to make sure you got it right. I mean, 58 people are dead. Hundreds got horrible wounds for the rest of their lives. And then you're looking at the psychological damage of this event on people. I mean, just destroyed entire families. You don't get to just haphazardly say, well, must have been this guy. That's it. Nothing to see here. That's not right. That's not justice for the victims. That's not justice for their families. That's not justice for the country. We deserve to know. We deserve to know that everything's been done, that there is nothing else out there, and it's right to question your government. That's how a democracy, a republic, works. You're supposed to be able to do that, and nobody's ever gonna change my mind on that. Let's see what else you got going on. Angela G says, I never knew what a conspiracy theorist was until I heard about it during my YouTube Vegas. Yeah. Everything conspiracy theory. If, it's research. We're just looking into something, it could, I don't know. It's just these buzzwords that people use to discredit folks instead of like facing us on the evidence. Okay, you know what? Instead of, you see, they just throw mud and call us conspiracy theorists rather than arguing with me about why the door log doesn't match and why it looks like there was two people opening the doors. Why is a door being opened from the inside to let somebody, all the weird stuff that we've seen. They don't want to argue the details of the facts of the case because they simply don't know it. They just want to sit there and say we're nuts and everything the government says is hunky dory. And I'll ask you again, who are the crazy ones again? And Brian says the Campos timeline changed 4 times. Why would I believe them? Exactly. In my notebooks, I started keeping the day that, the next, on October 2nd, I started keeping notebooks on this. And I have in there all 4 timelines that they gave out. Every time they put out a timeline, I write it in there. And it's amazing how far they were off. And Truth Seeker says, we're getting closer to blowing their cover. They are going to work double time to shut us up. And that's why it's more important than ever. We really, when I say we, I mean me. I need to get another my own website to put our stuff up. I mean, they can still attack us there, I guess, but while we're on YouTube and doing things like that, we're completely at the mercy of them. And in my opinion, it's just too easy for them to censor us. And Nothing If Not Intense says, I'm compelled each and every day. There is no quitting this girl. Outstanding. And Mo says, Mo's talking spy. Never mind. Brian says, I really think Hoover is on to something with his new video on Rouse and Lombardo. I didn't watch his newest one. I'll look into that, though. True Seeker says, I was down the street a few miles. The strip was under attack, and they were on a manhunt all night. Talking a few miles. Obviously, you're talking about that night, right? Obviously, True Seeker. Angela G says, I still don't believe anything happened at the Mandalay Bay other than staging and police trying to learn how to be police. And True Seeker agrees with the Hoover's recent video. Mark Norris says, a lot of people are apathetic because they think there is no point trying to get to the truth, that no matter what, the authorities will cover up and shut people up. Apathy is dangerous. I agree. Certainly the government will try to keep it quiet, but the lucky thing is we have the internet now. Can you imagine the internet existed during JFK time frame? I don't think the Warren Report would have gotten very far. It wouldn't have been believed, or as long as it was anyway. So it would have put a lot more pressure on the authorities to be much more transparent. That's what we're doing. And, I think a big part of the judge releasing the video evidence that we currently have, it was due to the pressure that I'm certain it's due to the pressure the public's put on them, obviously. So we do have an effect. And the worst possible thing we can do is close up our shop and go home. We can't do that. We've worked too hard to get to this point, that's for sure. Let's see. I'm reading through here, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm just reading. Discerning Light says it was too close to home for me. I was staying at Mandalay Bay all weekend in room 28135. I left Sunday morning to go back to Los Angeles. It freaked me out how close it was. Yeah, I can imagine. Brian Eskew says, I want answers for myself. I can promise once we figure it out, nobody will believe us still. Yeah, that may be. But, you know, the way these things typically work out is, yeah, nobody will believe us now. But say we leave a documentary or a book or something that we've worked on and we leave that behind. And then later another generation looks at it and says, wow, these people were right. They were onto something. You know, it's kind of like, I believe, was it Bram Stoker? He wasn't famous until after he died or something. So, you know, it died of old age or whatever happened to him. Sometimes that's the way it is. So, you know, for me, it's kind of an internal, it's a, I'm doing it kind of for myself, put it that way. What they do with it, you know, if they say it's BS, whatever work I come up with, you know, whether it be a documentary one day or a book or anything like that, that's fine. I wasn't doing it for those people. I was doing it for myself, for the victims, and for, you know, for the truth. So I don't really care what the people, you know, it's like the you know, to bring up current events, look at the stuff with to Kavanaugh, this whole thing. The people that went into that hearing, like before the hearing started and the lady was questioning all that, the battle lines were already drawn. After all that mess was over with, the battle lines are still drawn. In a lot of ways, the Vegas massacre is like that. Right now, the battle lines are already drawn. There's people who believe the story, people who don't. And people are usually, you know, the further we will get from the event itself, and I think the easier, the more people will start to come around to seeing that maybe we're not so much, you know, a bunch of crazies. Maybe we're actually on to something here. You know, look at Waco. Immediately after Waco happened, the people were vicious. I remember this. They were viciously attacked for suggesting, you know, that Waco was anything rather than a bunch of nutcases that just burned themselves to the ground. Then years later, documentaries are coming out saying, oh, yeah, did you know the FBI fired all these ferret rounds they said they never fired? Oh, did you know we have FLIR video of them shooting at the Branch Davidian? You know, all this stuff, you know, that all these people were saying immediately after the event, and Branch Davidians who even survived said these things had happened. Nobody believed them for years. And now, like, if you look at the most recent shows on Waco, whether they be the documentaries of that show, docudrama, or whatever the hell it was they made about it, they pretty much all embrace the so-called conspiracy theories, where they weren't conspiracy theories. They were the truth all along. All right, enough of that. Let me see what y'all are saying. And Nothing If Not Intense says they were way too quick to say lone shooter, no nexus to terrorism. Way too quick. Yeah, what was it, the next day? If that, they instantly went to that. Yeah, that's the default setting, apparently. Yeah, Angela G says, yeah, they said lone shooter the night it happened. Just now, an alert from What? Debbie W. Hold on. All right, hold on. I got to check something out. Debbie W says, just now, alert from WEG. An explosion just happened at the memorial. All right. Wait, no, it's not what I wanted to do. All right, stand by. I'm going to bring up my internet and see if there's any reports of any breaking news like that. Stand by, please. Damn it. All right. I'm not seeing any alerts on that one yet, but I'll keep an eye on that just in case. All right, let me go on. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet about an explosion at a memorial, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Might mean I'm looking at the crappier news outlets. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Let me see. Is there any... Has anybody got a link or anything? Because I'm not seeing anything on any of my usual go-to sites here. And Debbie says they don't know what's going on yet. Lots of sirens now. Okay. All right, I'm trying to see if I can find something on this, guys. Just bear with me. I'm searching, looking for stuff. See if I can find anything. Let's try breaking 911. I'm not seeing anything. I'm watching. Man. What do you guys? I'm watching 3 minutes apart from my... Well, I can't find anything on it, so I'm not saying it's not happening, but none of my regular go-to sites are showing anything. I could go on the scanner and see what the scanners are saying. Las Vegas. Oh, by the way, Anna's in the house doing the moderating. Just FYI, if you could give a thanks to our moderator for all the great work she does. Okay, why is this giving me California? I didn't say California, I said Nevada. North Las Vegas. Uh-oh. Man, another bomb? Wow. Oh, this sucks. I'm trying to bring up the scanner. Damn it, they have like 500 of them. Boulder, Hendrickson. All right, we'll try this one. All right, so you might hear some radio traffic, police radio traffic. I'm going to see if I can get an idea what's going on. All right, so I'm on I'm on Broadcastify right now. Hold on, I'll share my screen so you can actually see what I'm doing. Nevada 243, David. I don't know which feed would be the best. There's like a whole bunch of them on there. Not saying anything on this one. I might have to go back and check the other ones. Let's see. Oh, that one had the most people on there, so I guess Reno and Sparks Police. Elko City, Range 2. No, this looks like the only one that would have anything. Dead silence right now. But we'll keep listening. 100% Truth Seeker. I'm sorry, guys. I've been kind of ignoring your comments. I've been trying to get this damn thing to work. Oh, God. This is not good. I'm on the scanners right now, Discerning Light. I'm not hearing anything. Or, I mean, I'm not... Oh, here we go.
120. He might be on Metro's channel.
With 308, do you need something? When you have a chance, give me a call, please.
Okay. Try to check some news outlets, see if they have anything. Ugh, this freaking website's just too busy for me. Ugh. Yeah, they suck. All right, still dead silence on this one. Oh, something. But all the rest of them don't have any more listeners, so that tells me they're not having anything either. $20. Let me try this one. Just in the unlikely chance that it actually might be saying something. Whoa.
Subject unconscious, white, Mr. Gray. Other information, Nurse 61, Truck 61, responding with medic west, medic post on scene.
True Seeker says he's watching Weg's live feed. There are sirens all over and cops with flashlights, and fire department is on the scene. It's horrible. Okay, cool. Good job, Anna. Look at the moderator out there. She's just awesome. Maybe I should play both. Can I play both at the same time? I think I can. It might get a little noisy, but since neither is really saying anything. Yeah, okay, so I got both working. Ow! Shit. Sorry, that was loud. They're putting up police tape. True Seeker says. Gosh, it's horrible, man. I hope nobody was hurt. Kind of a, man. It's not good. I got 2 scanners, different scanners up. Not hearing anything as of yet. Anything of merit, anyway. Do you see anything over there, moderator? Like any news, breaking news of any kind? Okay. And Debbie W says this is awful with all the survivors in town.
District 2622, Phantom 53. Looks like it's going to be a recall from Metro. Subject pulled over the wheel of a stop vehicle in front of building D. David. Engine 15.
Seems like they're just talking about normal crap that goes on around there. True Seeker says choppers are in the air. What a nightmare for those survivors. Oh, this is horrible. All right, let me think here. Ouch. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Say again. nothing yet. The hell? This is really bizarre. There's like not usually. I mean, MSM's never that good, but usually they have something. Both scanner. By the way, scanners are still up. I'm not taking them down. They're just this silent. There's just nothing going on. Got 88 listeners on this one feed and 16 on this one, and those were the highest numbers, except for the one dealing with the forest fire or some kind of wildfire. Who's saying that? Our moderator is getting word that is it in there? Oh, okay, I see.
Mr. Rise, Medic West is advising
Brian says, I think it was a transformer blowing up or something. And Discerning Light says, I remember Weg saying they were not allowing the human chain around the venue, and then this happens. Makes me think. Brian says, they look like they are next to the warehouse. And True Seeker says, even if it was a false alarm, this is still scary for all the survivors down there. And Debbie W says, sorry to interrupt your broadcast, but I felt this is important and let you guys want to know. No, Joe, that's what this show's all about, Debbie. I don't come up here with like an agenda and dictate to you guys what I'm going to do. This is what this is all about, networking and bringing things to each other's attention. And I don't go into these things with an agenda. So feel free to bring things up whenever you want. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I believe they updated the communication system so I can no longer get Metro. I think that's the update they did. Because when I look on, crap, let me go over here. Yeah. Reno. And Brian's meth lab. What's that, True Seeker? What's that about a meth lab? Am I missing something? True Seeker says Weg is getting close to the area and it's not a good area. Brian says it looks like a drug neighborhood. Oh, well. Yeah, those meth labs tend to blow up. And Brian's saying, I'm going to say it's not related. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, I still have both these radio feeds up, and I would really think that if it was a really bad event, this radio traffic would be a little bit more filled up, because right now there is nothing. So I don't know, guys.
61, go ahead, Jeff. Could you respond another ambulance, please?
Yeah. Get a little bit, and then just ask for another ambulance. That's about it. And probably won't hear anything for another 5 minutes. You'd think there'd be more radio traffic just with the regular problems they have around there, but guess not. Debbie W says lots of cop cars say marshals, he said. Why do I keep doing that? Still nothing, huh? Weird. Yeah. Not much going on. Yeah, that's the one I'm on. I'm on that one. So I'm on the Las Vegas Clark County Fire, which only. Whoa.
Information only cap. Your second unit is southbound Nellis passing Bonanza. Trust 1 copy, thank you.
Carry in the Boulevard, 5 Victor 47882. I mean, I'm sorry, what state was that? California.
Okay. Oops. I did the other one. Somebody's getting arrested. Oh. Turn on. Yep, it's still just Where are you hearing that from, moderator? Oh, so the moderator's checking out Wegs and says that it looks like somebody's getting arrested for saying "I'm going to kill you" to somebody. Huh. Well, I mean, at least it doesn't look like a mass casualty event, because if it was, this would be blown up. But I can't. I don't know how much we're going to get off the scanners, because this is quiet. I mean, Washington State's busier than this, and we're not quite as wild and crazy as Las Vegas. And True Seeker says Weg Oak and Slep Dep just showed the cops their press credentials so they can get closer. All right. Well, I think in lieu of me sitting here and reporting nothing, I'm just going to get off so you guys can follow the better live stream there, because I'm not getting anything off of this. So I'd like to say I really hope that nobody. I hope this event wasn't a mass casualty event, and it's kind of looking that way, that it may just be something either small or I don't know, something else. Got anything new, moderator? No. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down then, so you guys can follow on Wegs there and get see a little bit better what's going on there. I hate ending this without knowing exactly what's going on, but only thing I can say is I hope nobody got hurt, and I hope that there's nothing horrible went on tonight, because there's been enough tragedy there, and the survivors certainly don't need any more trauma. That's for sure. And with that, let me go ahead and shut these down, because I don't think we're going to get anything. I'll go ahead and close this out. I will probably do another one this weekend. I'm going to start looking on some different angles. I'm trying to get all the mainstream media footage I have posted on my YouTube channel as quick as I can. That's why you're seeing like these big spurts of me trying to upload a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to continue doing that. Like we were talking about last time with the stuff that I have from a certain channel that's not allowed on YouTube anymore. Wink, wink. Has something to do with info and some other stuff to do with wars. Thinking about going the unlisted route with that, and then I'll just put the links probably in the description of some videos, but more to come on that. But I want to share all the information, or if I can figure out how to get my own website up and going, I'll just post them there. But just so you know, I still remember that plan, and I'm still working on it. So with that, I'll close out. And again, I'd like to take a moment to pray for the victims of this horrible tragedy, and to remember what this day truly represents. You know, it's been a year since that horrible tragedy, but we need to keep this tragedy and foremost in our minds, because we're doing this for the victims, so we can give them the truth that they certainly deserve. I mean, we all deserve, and that's why we do what we do. So with that, thank you all, and God bless.